I'm sitting here because most of you have small children and then they grow up. Not me. I have been supervising showers and or baths for 18 years. For 18 years, I've been in the bathroom and washed people's hair. If it's going to get washed, I wash it. Yeah. Never have I had one person who could be clean all by themselves. But I'm not complaining. Nope. Because I'm sitting here stressing myself out. I'm not a real stressor type over what I like to call college fun. Do you know what college fun is? College fun is called having a senior. I realize for some of you, it really is fun. Well, today it's Amos's hair. It's all fun and games until you get the big letter or the, well, we like you, but we're going to let you wait a few more months. And then when we do tell you, we might put you on the wait list. I cannot take it. I can't take it. It's too much. So today I get this message from a friend of mine who's a counselor. You have 3 college freshmen. Do you have triplets? I wouldn't have. Amy, just shoot me now. I couldn't have done it. Today I get this message from a friend of mine who's a college counselor, and it is an update from UNC Chapel Hill, which we are not going to next year. And they said, we had 67,800 people apply. How many people live in North Carolina? Like 200,000? No, just kidding. But seriously, 67,800 people applied? I grew up in Rocky Mount, a town of 60,000 people. They had 5,100 people apply to transfer. So actually, you add that on there. What's that? 73-ish thousand? I guess it's supposed to make you realize, well, you didn't get in because 73,990 other people applied. And then they tell you about them. Well, 99% are in the top 10 of their class. 98% have a perfect score on the SAT. 97% were both Eagle Scouts and Girl Scouts. Nah, just kidding. My glasses are reading glasses. They're made by Peepers. People think I have like some fancy glass selection. Peepers at the Polka Dot Palm in Edenton. Wonderful supply. So, I was talking to this friend of mine today, and we were discussing this. I really haven't been talking about college. 73,000, Wanda, not 7,300, 3,000. And we were discussing this, people applying to lots of colleges. Well, my son applied to 3 colleges, and he's applying to another one, but for some reason they can't get it together. Anyway, I don't know. State Carolina and South Carolina. Well, most people apply to like 29. I'm kidding. But I cannot tell you how many people applied to 16. Well, I have a few questions. I'm not judging you, so don't go having a pissy. One, it's like $75 or $85 to apply per college. So that is a lot of money to spend, in my mind, right? Because, especially if you apply to 18 colleges, you cannot tell me truly that your person might really go to 18. I just don't believe it. Yeah. Oh, get your hair wet. Don't turn it off. You gotta wash your hair. Here.
No, not really.
Yes. Hand me the shampoo. Okay, get your hair wet. Yeah, 5, 6, 8, but 18, 24, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm going to wash some hair. Okay, let me see your head. Here. Come here. Wash. Ooh, yeah. Okay, lean back. Yeah. Oh, your water's not from. Ooh. Okay. Lean back. That's how it. Oh, they're nice and clean. Oh, you gotta get your TV clean. Are you gonna stay in or are you ready to get out?
I'm ready to get out.
Let me get you a towel. Hold on. Hold on. Here you go. There you go.
I'm ready to watch TV.
You want to watch a little TV. What time is it? It's about bedtime, but you could probably watch a little bit. You thought public schools accepted the Common App free. There's a week in North Carolina that's free to apply? What? I did not know that. Well, how did I miss that memo?
I'm going to watch a little TV.
You're going to watch a little TV?
Yes.
The average is 20 applications. I just think this is insane.
Oh, I'm hungry.
No, you've just had dinner, silly goosey.
Mommy?
Yesy.
I'm still hungry. I haven't eaten this hour.
You haven't eaten this hour?
No.
Well, I think you did.
I think I have not eaten this hour.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Here, Lee, put your towel on. Stand up. Stand. Let's take Blanky. You want to go get some clothes out of your closet put on? Or are you going to walk downstairs and do shower? Okay. I'll be down there in a minute. You can watch TV for about 10 minutes and we're going night-night. We did the free week. Well, I didn't. Well, now I know. See, this is how you learn things. But go with me here. So 73,000 people applied to Chapel Hill. How many of them actually wanted to go? And when I say wanted to go, I mean, I'm thinking about my own child. Top 2 choices. Okay. How many wanted to go as a top 2 choice? I'd be curious. Was it 50,000? Was it 16,000? Was it 12? Because it almost seems to me that you should have to rank. And here's what I think. It feels like applying to colleges to see if you can get in is because you want to win a trophy. You want to say, well, I got in. I'm not going there, of course, but I did get in. Well, when you do that, and I'm not talking about us because we're not, unbelievable, but I know some kids, particularly in Raleigh, like the whole deal, Eagle Scout, good ACT, International Baccalaureate program. We have a couple friends who I was shocked they didn't get into Chapel Hill. I was not shocked that Thomas didn't. I thought he would get waitlisted, but no, I wasn't shocked. But anyway, they wanted to go to Chapel Hill their whole existence, right? This is all they wanted to do. They worked hard. They studied. They did their test scores. And then you have these people who just come out of nowhere and they just apply for the fun of it. But they're not going to go because they didn't want to go there. Do people realize that there's a person over here and that's all they've ever wanted to do? Yeah, they throw their hat in the ring to see. I'm not a big throw your hat in the ring type. I think it's tacky. Didn't you really just tell us all the schools you got in? Me? No, I hardly got into any schools. I never even heard back from Chapel Hill. I said to my dad, well, Chapel Hill, I didn't get a letter from them. He goes, maybe they thought your application was a joke. Point well taken. Probably enough of stats that did get in. So, Lisa, maybe it's because I know a ton of people, not necessarily in my town, but in some small towns nearby, and nobody's going to Chapel Hill. But they all applied, but they're not going. Now, in Raleigh, if they apply, they want to go. But these are people that don't have any intention of going. No, they don't want to go. They just want to see if they can win the trophy. And I think that's crappy. I think it's crappy. And you know what? What I said to a college counselor friend, I said, well, why do the colleges allow this? And they said, well, they love it, right? Because it makes them feel more popular. They love nothing more than saying, we had 73,000 people apply. It makes them, what if somebody, what do they care? The more and more people that are fawning all over them, the more popular they get. We had a lot from Davie County who got accepted. Yes, okay, so Davie County gets a lot who accepted. Jamie, I'd be curious to know how many from Davie County are actually going to go. Because I would say in some of these small eastern North Carolina towns, less than 50% are accepting the acceptance. I just think that's interesting. Because if you're a kid in Raleigh and you get into Carolina, that is where you're going. Period. People in Raleigh, if you said to them, so-and-so is not, they got into Chapel Hill, but they're going to go to UNC Pembroke. The people in Raleigh are like this. What? And it's nothing against UNC Pembroke or UNC Wilmington or ECU or anywhere else. UNC is at the pinnacle, especially for people like in Raleigh. Friend's daughter applied to UVA with zero intent of going, but she wanted to see if she would get in. I just don't get it. I also belong to children who do not like to write college essays. So you don't have to worry about any person in my family applying. Why are they not going there? Where are they going? They're going to other North Carolina schools. Yeah, they're going to other schools. It's not for bragging rights. It's because it's so competitive and one's chances are so dismal, even if they're the top of their class. Sarah, that's not true for Eastern North Carolina. It's not as competitive. But you have to think in places that are high poverty, you have a better chance of being in the top 5 of your class, But so I argue, I think it is for bragging rights. I think it is to say that you got in. I mean, I know it is. I've heard people say that. He wanted to see if he could get in. Now, binding early decision is different than regular early decision. NC State and Carolina don't do binding early decision, but like Wake Forest does binding, UVA does binding. Who does like to write essays? Not me. And I'm a blogger. If the acceptance rate is over 40%, it ain't over 40%. I don't know how they say the acceptance rate is 42%. So tell me this. 73,000 people applied, and they let in 3,300. Now, I don't have a PhD in math, but I did take a lot of statistics. 3,300 of 73,000 is not 40%. 33,000 is 3,300. 40% would be if about 9,500 had applied, right? 42% of 9,500 would be about 3,300. 40% of 73,000 would be 30,000 people. They ain't letting anybody into 30,000 people in. I mean, go with me here. Anyway. So my son Russell had thought about applying to the school math and science. And we talked about it. You know, Russell's already at boarding school. And school math and science, if you're in North Carolina, it is free boarding school for juniors and seniors. And one real new benefit of it is that if you go there, your college is paid for. Well, that's pretty awesome, right? So we were discussing if he was going to apply or not. And he said, you know what? I'd like to see if I got in. And I said, okay, but are you going to go? Is there a chance you're going to go? And he said, no, I don't think so. And I said, you know what then? Let's not apply because there's somebody out there and this is all they want. And why would we take away their chance just so we could say no? And he said, yeah, you're right. You know, you're right. And you might argue, well, those people are going to get in off the wait list, and there will be people that get in off the wait list. I just think it's this, do we think about others? Do we think about others when we're making these decisions, you know? Just because we want something or we want our children to have something, do we say to hell with everybody else? I don't. I have never wanted more for my children to the detriment of other people. Never. You know, and I want the best for them. I really do. But I'm not going to step on somebody else for it to happen. So just think about that. You know, if your child really wants to go somewhere they don't know, then apply all the places. But don't go around and say, we got into these 19 schools. We can only go to one. We were only interested in 2. So 16 other people got no's because we were greedy. Anyway, I really think like that. I feel like that. That's what it feels like. Play the dual enrollment game. Yeah, the schools like dual enrollment, particularly somewhere like Chapel Hill. So if you have a high GPA, Chapel Hill likes to say that the top, I don't know what it is, 10% of their class or 90% of their class, 95% of their class came from the top 10 of their classes. UF was the goal. Why apply to UCF and FSU? Oh, well, now, Jody, I could see applying to 3 schools. If you weren't sure you were going to get in, but there's some schools in North Carolina, you know you're going to get in, or you think you can. So what do they say? You should have a reach school, a safety school, and like a definite get-in school. So Thomas had decided, this is Amos's closet, in case anybody's wondering why I'm losing my mind. Thomas had decided that his reach school was going to be a school that he could apply to a month later, you know? So he didn't have to apply to it until he didn't get in. And then it was like, okay, well now I need the reach school, right? I don't think the general population is applying to be greedy. Well, they might not be, but 73,000 applications is just telling for something. Don't most schools have wait lists? Yes, and evidently like 9 people a year get in off of them. This year is going to be interesting though. Just very curious. Amos needs more t-shirts. We mainly have t-shirts and sweatpants. I just think it's important. I think it's important. You know? My dad always said, I've been watching American Idol. It's so good. My dad always said, nobody wants to hear about you. Nobody wants to know what you're doing. Nobody wants to know where you're going. Nobody wants to know nothing about nothing. And it's like, that's probably good advice. When will he hear about NC State from being deferred? I think it's the end of March. How much is it to apply these days? It was like $75 or $85 maybe. It's your first go round. I know. North Carolina limits admissions to their schools from out-of-state students. Well, Virginia does the same thing, and Georgia. I don't think that's too unusual because these state schools have to support state students. Yeah, I don't think that's too unusual. I'm glad. I'm 62.
Why are you wearing a hat tie?
Because my hair is greasy. Where has Thomas decided to go? Well, he hadn't yet. He's still waiting to hear. How does he feel about you talking about the subject? Fine. I mean, we've been talking about it. This is all they talk about. I mean, if you go look at school's Instagram, it's like so-and-so's going here and so-and-so's going there. I think we've been having these open discussions about it, But do you mean like, is he embarrassed that I told he didn't get into Chapel Hill? No. No. If there's one thing our family is not, it's prideful. Nor do we try to keep secrets. Because that never turns out well. No, it never turns out well. He applied to NC State, UNC, and South Carolina. He got into South Carolina, so we are very excited about that. We have not been to see it yet. Because State's his first choice. So we'll see. But holy cow, it's tiring. One more month. Back when I was going to school, you didn't have to do all this. I went to Meredith College. Today is their giving day, and I loved it. It was fantastic. He's going to go to South Carolina. I've encouraged him to look at ECU, but I don't know if I've gotten very far. Might be too close to home. Okay, I'm going to put a 10-year-old to bed. Did any kids from his school get into UNC? Yes, a few did. Yeah. So what I understood, Beth, what this college counselor was telling me is that what they do is he's considered in state, but he's at a school in Virginia. So they look at the tier of your county where you're from and where your school is. So what they did, what Chapel Hill does, is they take all the people from your school that applied and they look at you as a group. So if you got Smarty McSmarter pants, who's getting in? Suddenly you look dumb, even if you're normal. So anyway. What is statistics? Well, it's math. It's old math. Carry on.